All right, good afternoon, everybody. It's LinkedIn Tuesdays here with Career DFW and CareerUSA.org. Glad everybody is with us. Just as a reminder for those people on Zoom, if you have a question, please use the chat box. Just open up the chat box and you can put your question there for us. And for those of you who are on Facebook, please check out please just enter your comments into the comment box. There are a couple different options for those of you who are on Zoom. If you go up to the very top of the screen, you can do different view options. Where the yellow arrow is, that shows you can flip between speaker view and gallery view. And I've got shots of both of those at the very bottom. The lower left is the speaker view. And where the red arrow is, there's a little white thing you can grab, and you can make the speaker bigger and smaller, or balance, the screen 50-50, 60-20, 60-40, whatever you'd like to do to make it easier to watch the speaker. Please note this event is being recorded and it's currently live on Facebook. The recording will be on the Career DFW Facebook page and the Career USA YouTube channels for others to view in the future. By participating in this event, and if you post a comment in the chat box or have your microphone or camera on, you give consent for your comments, name, and pictures to appear. Well, good afternoon. My name is Jeff Morse. I founded Career DFW back in 2008 to help the unemployed in the DFW area. In 2012, I started CareerUSA.org to help people outside the local DFW area. I facilitate and lead the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. I've been doing that since 2007, and I'm a member of the practice interview team that interviews candidates, and I've been doing that since 2016. Well, every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we have LinkedIn Tuesdays, and we have three great speakers who are with us. They rotate each week. Luck Alderson, Terry Sullivan, and this week Ruth Lipsky is with us. Ruth is going to talk about special features for job seekers. And Ruth, I'll let you take it away and introduce yourself.
All right. I am a career coach. I have been working in this type of profession for several years now. What I have found is that LinkedIn is an amazingly strong way of being able to find jobs, connect with people, and be able to provide additional information that you might need in order to make your job search a little bit easier, a little bit stronger. So we're going to go immediately into the LinkedIn special features for job seekers, because this is where we're going to get into the details. I'll start out staying right in the PowerPoint, but I will be moving into LinkedIn so that it'll be more of a live demo at that point. And Jeff, if you can keep an eye on the chat, if there's anything that we need to bring up, let me know. We can talk about anything else that might come up or any more details that you want to see. So things we're going to be talking about today. We're going to talk about the new skills assessment that LinkedIn has introduced. We're going to talk about utilizing hashtags to your advantage. And we're going to talk about two networking capabilities that are within LinkedIn. One within a college and one within a targeted company that you might want to be looking at more carefully. So the skills test itself, this was a substitute for the endorsements on the skills and endorsements area. For years, LinkedIn has been trying to find a way to evaluate how strong your skills are, and it's allowed your coworkers, your friends, your family to be able to click on a skill and endorse it as being a strong skill. This has some difficulties because your friends might be endorsing you for a skill that you've asked them to, but you might not really be that strong. So just last September, they have created a skill assessment that allows you to take a test for a variety of skills that they have identified as being capable of, and it's going to show that you've got proficiency because you've proven it by passing a test. There are three areas for these tests. There are technical skills, business skills, and design skills. Now, LinkedIn is telling us that the recruiters really like seeing this because if they're looking for a candidate that has a particular set of skills, having them pass the skill test is going to be a strong indication that they truly are able to add value to the company in that way. And LinkedIn is telling us at this point that the people who have passed a skill test are 30% more likely to be hired. That's a big jump. So what happens on it? There are generally 15 to 20 questions. They will all be multiple choice. It is a timed test, so there's no way to go out onto Google and try and check out what the answer should be. If you score a 70% or above, you have the option of adding a badge into your skills and endorsement area. And the badge looks like it's a clipboard with a check mark on it. It'll be right to the right of the skill. And if you hover over that, it tells the reader that you passed a test. The test is only good for 12 months. So 12 months after you've passed the test, that check mark, that badge is going to go away. And the idea behind that is that LinkedIn feels that there are other skills and other versions of each piece of software that are probably going to change the criteria and the expertise. So once a year, you may need to retest in order to keep that badge next to your skill. If you do not pass a test, it does not show up anywhere. Nobody can ever tell that you have not passed the test. And you are not able to retake the test until 3 months have passed. And after you fail it for a second time, then you're no longer able to take the test at all. Here are the technical skills. As you can see, there's a lot of coding through here. The business skills that have tests associated with them are primarily from Microsoft Suite, but also include Adobe Acrobat and QuickBooks. The design skills that have an assessment associated with them, all of these. So let's talk about hashtags. LinkedIn has always had communities where you could indicate that you're interested in a topic. This is different from groups. Groups are a professional organization, and you have to be able to prove that you have the skill set to be part of that group. A community or a hashtag now is simply an area where you're saying, I've got an interest in this, I'm following this topic, I want to learn more about it, I want to be able to contribute to the discussions on this topic. Hashtags were created in 2018. LinkedIn decided that they should have the same nomenclature as other social media for the same type of activity. So hashtags were brought in about 2 years ago. When you use a hashtag, it makes your content more discoverable. It allows you to reach people that are outside of your network and be able to talk with them about the subject material that you have in common. All hashtags need to be work appropriate. No need to say that too many times. LinkedIn is professional. And you can find them by typing into the search bar at the top of any page except for the Jobs tab. If you're using it in order to enhance your post, LinkedIn will generally provide some suggestions on hashtags that might be appropriate based on the type of information that you're typing. You do want to use hashtags in posts. It allows you to bring your material to a wider range of people. You can place it within the text material, or you can put it at the bottom. You generally don't have more than 5 hashtags within a single post. 3 is normally easier to read and easier to keep track of. Don't add a hashtag unless you truly feel as if it is a part of the message that you're sending out on your post. You can also add hashtags into your profile, into the About section. Generally, it's going to be at the end of the paragraph where you're trying to highlight and summarize what it is you were saying within that paragraph. Do not use it in your headline area because that's going to distort the search. LinkedIn Recruiter is being used by a lot of companies these days, and being able to put in the title, the geographic location, the skills, they're not able to read hashtags through that. May be possible in the future, but right now, keep them out of your headline. Don't use them too often. You don't want it to look as if you're in the midst of a hashtag war. At the end of the About section, you can put in hashtag ONO, which means open to new opportunities. And keep it all capital. For some reason, capital ONO seems to be a better hit than using the non-capital O, N's, and O's. Networking with college connections. Let's go out and take a look at LinkedIn itself and see if we can find a way to be able to showcase what people are going to be seeing. So, not that one. All right, let's try this one. Can you see my LinkedIn profile? Okay, thank you. When you're using hashtags, you're going to keep them out of the top portion, but you are going to use them within the About section. So in my About section, the first thing I want people to know is that I'm capable of leading a company out of COVID-19 problems because I have experience in business continuity, disaster recovery, crisis management, and then I added the hashtags coronavirus, hashtag work from home, because I think I could contribute to a company that is wrestling with those features. At the end of some of the paragraphs, I will put in a hashtag that deals with what I'm talking about in that paragraph. So at the end of this one, I've got hashtag career development, and down toward the bottom, I've got hashtag empathy. Whenever you put a hashtag in the midst of the About section, remember that it is not a smart link. Nobody is able to come and click on the hashtag in order to get to that page. But let's take a look if we put it up here. It'll bring us to the hashtag career development page that LinkedIn has set up. It's got about 170,000 people who are viewing this or watching it fairly regularly. Everything on this page is going to be related to career development. And it's a nice way for me to keep up to speed with what other people are saying, what other people are doing, what new technology is out there that's able to help me become better at this also. If you're on a home page and you want to start a post, and you can say, I want to talk about COVID-19 is a problem. It really helps to have the correct spelling. You can see that at the bottom, LinkedIn says you can add a hashtag, and they're already talking about, here's a hashtag for you that's hashtag coronavirus. Here's one that's hashtag leadership. It'll have the different hashtags that seem to be appropriate for what you're typing. You can put in any hashtags that you want. If you decide that you want just coronavirus, click on it, it'll appear right there. That way, everybody in your network who would normally be seeing your posts will be included in the post as normal, but everyone who is a member of the hashtag coronavirus group is also going to be able to see this because it'll be posted on that page. Good thing to be able to use.
Ruth, we've got a question. Somebody asked, where's the best place to put the ONO in your About section?
I like putting it at the bottom because you've already got this open to job opportunity up right at the top part here. The fact that you're looking for another job is evident if you're using this area. If you're in the About section, I would put it down at the bottom because it's not the most important piece of information that you have. The most important information you have in your About section is contained in the first paragraph, hopefully in the first 3 sentences of that first paragraph, because you want to draw in the recruiter or the hiring manager, and you want them to be able to open up your About section to read more about you. If you have a hashtag ONO too high up, then it's not providing the information, because they don't care about that quite as much as they care about, do you have the technical capability to do the job? And are you a nice person? Do you have a good style about you in your management way? Now that can change. Some people like putting the information, such as your email and your phone number. I don't like phone numbers out there. There's just a privacy concern for me. But some people are going to like it right at the very top to let them know. I prefer it at the bottom. Your choice. Let's talk about networking with a college. Somebody throw out the name of a college that we can be looking at. And Jeff, let me know.
Yeah, just University of Arkansas, first one up.
All right, typing in University of Arkansas in the search bar of any tab except for the Jobs tab, you'll be able to see that there are all kinds of opportunities here. The one we want is probably going to be this top one. So we click on that, and it takes us to the LinkedIn page of the University of Arkansas. If you attended that school and you have that in your education section, then it's already been added to your interest area. But if you have an interest in the University of Arkansas, you can also follow it. LinkedIn allows you to add as many colleges as you want in your interest area, because if you're paying tuition to a college, if your spouse went to that college, if somebody in your family went to the college, you can add that in. It's part of your life, it's part of your background. When you're on this page, you're going to want to go down and take a look at the alumni. So when you click on the alumni, LinkedIn will show you the 110,000 people who have graduated from the University of Arkansas in the last 120 years that have a LinkedIn profile. It's going to immediately give you the information on where they live and where they work. This gives you an opportunity, and let's show more so that we can get a little bit deeper, of taking a look and saying there are 9,940 alumni in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Let me find out a little bit more about them. Or you can go over to where they're working and you can say, well, look at that, 149 people are working at Amazon. If you went to this school and Amazon is one of the companies that you're looking for, you want to take a look at those 149 people. The LinkedIn tile for those people are going to be put down here, and 149 is probably too many to mess with. So let's take a look a little bit more and get information. And you're going to use this next feature, the next with the arrow, because now it's going to tell you what they do. This tells you what department they work in. And if you decide that you want to be in the information technology area of Amazon, you want to know about the 7 alumni from this university that are working at Amazon in IT, and here are the 7 of them. From here, you'll take a look at each one of the profiles, decide if you have something in common with them other than the fact that you went to school at the same school, and you'll connect with them. And having the first part of your connection, I also went to the University of Arkansas. Is this Go Hogs, Razorbacks, something? But put in something that indicates that you know about that school. And I'm interested in working for Amazon in the IT department. I see that you're in that area. Do you have any tips for me as to how I can interview, what jobs are available? So being able to use this in order to find people that are in the companies that you're looking at or are in some field that you're looking for, it's going to be a strong way, because college people tend to stick together and you tend to want to be part of the group that you went to school with. Doesn't matter what year they went. You can see that through here, LinkedIn is now going to give you the year that they graduated. If you want to be able to say that you've got a connection because you also graduated in that year, you can certainly do that. One more piece of information that you've got in common, and that makes it all the more important to put in your connection message because it increases the likelihood that they're going to connect with you and that they're going to be willing to have a dialogue with you when you're asking additional questions. Okay, on that one? Let's get out of there and tell me a company that you would like to be part of. First one up, Jeff, let me know.
People just type a company name in. Salesforce, first one up from Jonathan.
Salesforce. Now there are two Salesforces here, and this is a good example. This is the company page. Salesforce Marketing Cloud is a showcase page. There's no information on this page on LinkedIn except more information about cloud activities. So you want to take the base company and go there. Nice touch. All right, follow. If it's a company that you're interested in joining, always follow it because that drops it into your interest section. Recruiters are able to see that and they're impressed by it, and they have a way on LinkedIn Recruiter to be able to sort out all applicants and find the people who are following their company. Now, instead of alumni, you're going to be looking at people. So let's find out a little bit more about the 44,000 and some employees that work at Salesforce. First page, once again, where they live and where they studied. If you want to be able to take a look at where they studied in more detail to see if you can utilize your any type of a college or university in order to connect more closely, this is a nice place to go. But if we wanted to find more information, they're all over the place, aren't they? I don't see them in Dallas. Well, there's 705 in the Dallas area. So let's click on those. And the next button that we're looking at here is going to tell us what department they work in. Generally, what you're looking for here is someone who does the same job that you do, that you can connect to, someone who has a title that might be part of the hiring team that you can connect to, and recruiters. So let's take a look at the 20 people who are in HR in Dallas for this company. Here they are. And taking a look a little bit more detail about whether they're recruiters or they have some other role within HR is going to help out a bit. Connect with 2 or 3 of these folks. If you don't get a response from them, keep trying, but a person that is in a recruiting position at a company you're interested in is a very good way to be able to learn more about the company. And recruiters are normally easy to connect with if you give them a message and a reason to connect with them. Their job is people, but being able to send a connect request without a personalized message doesn't give them much of an incentive to talk more with you. Now we can look more into this next area. They're all still in the HR department, but it tells you what they studied also. Sometimes that's a good thing to be able to connect with also if you've got something that was a unusual major or something that was unusual that you studied. There's more though, so we'll do next one more time. These are the skills that they have in their LinkedIn profile in the skills and endorsement area, but this tells you how you're connected. So I've got 5 people that I'm at least a second degree connection with. If there were a first degree connection, they would tell me also. The rest of them are all third degrees. You generally have a better chance of connecting with people who are second degree connections because part of your personalized message can be, we know several people in common on LinkedIn. I'm interested in this company because, and then go into your elevator speech that you would be able to use in a connection request. So we've got information that is out there for each company that's going to allow you to find departments. It's going to be able to find cities that they're in. And if you don't have anything else that you want to be able to find out other than who the recruiters are, you can go back and say, here's the 444,000 folks. Just type in recruiter, and you'll be able to see that they've got 1,000 of them. Now you're going to be able to narrow it down by what recruiting office you think you're going to be part of. But if you think you're going to be most interested in talking to the Vice President of Engineering, you can type in that as a title. And there are a fair number of Vice Presidents of Engineering here. You will want to narrow it down a little bit and get into, might need a second sort to find the Dallas ones. Looks like they might not be in Dallas. But it gives you a feel for how you can find people with specific titles, how you can find recruiters, how you can find people who might have the same job title that you're looking for in that company, to be able to find out more information about what's the job like, any interviewing tips, any idea when additional jobs are going to be opening up. Do you know who posted this, who the hiring manager is going to be? Would love to connect with him. So you can ask a lot of questions. You've only got 300 characters in a connect request, but you can pack a fair amount of information in there to make your request one that they want to continue with. All right on those? That's it. What questions do you have?
There's a question here saying, you mentioned showing you're a member of the coronavirus or other hashtag groups. How do you get noticed that way?
When I post something in the home page here, and I put the hashtag coronavirus, that means that my posts are going to be seen by more people, and that's going to increase the number of people who view my profile, because that's related quite often to the number of post views. So you're using the hashtags on your posts in order to increase the number of people who are going to be brought to your page in order to see a little bit more about you. The information that you put in the About section up here is more for the benefit of a hiring manager or a recruiter to be able to say, I have interest in these areas. I think that I have some skills in those areas. So you've got two different purposes there. One is to increase the people who will be able to view your page, but the other is to be able to show more of a well-rounded person that you are, other than your technical skills.
Can you show where like the popular hashtags are located at?
Sure thing. The most popular hashtag is going to be hashtag management. And hashtag management has 36 million people that follow that. So anytime you have a post and you put in hashtag management, 36 million people have the opportunity of seeing it, because it's going to be in this stream right here. When you have a hashtag or two as part of your background, it's going to show up on your home page. So on your home page, over on the left-hand side here, you're going to see the hashtags that you belong to. And at the bottom, there's a Discover More. And when you click on Discover More, LinkedIn is going to show you other hashtags that seem to be consistent with the type of information you're posting, the information you have in your profile, the types of jobs that you're looking for. And this is a nice way to see them, because it tells you how many followers they have. And there are a lot of duplication out there. So if you're looking for hashtag management, there's also a hashtag manager. A hashtag management has a couple million more than hashtag manager. You generally want to be at the highest possible number of people within that group so that you're reaching as many people with your posts as possible. Within your About section, it's not as important because you're using it to indicate interests. But when you have a post, you want to be able to connect with as many people as possible so that it draws more people to your page.
Thank you.
One of the other ways to be looking at hashtags is when you're going on to your network page. LinkedIn is going to be offering you some information on people you know, just in the Dallas-Fort Worth, if that's where your home base is. People in management consulting, because that's the area that I have as my industry. They will also recommend pages, which are companies for me. It could be competitors to the places that I've worked. It could just be areas that they think I might have an interest. They'll give you opportunities to connect with people who have skills that are similar to what you have. And a lot of these are going to be influencers. So Mark Cuban, Gates, Rodriguez, Kumo, any of those you can connect with and follow. And you should generally have a couple different influencers in your network. You can't connect with them, but you can follow them.
We had a question. So if a recruiter types in a hashtag of a subject, will your profile appear for the recruiter and how?
No, that is not part of LinkedIn Recruiter. They're not able to search by hashtags. It's just an added feature that could be a tiebreaker for you if they're looking at 20 different profiles trying to find somebody of interest to them. You using hashtags is going to, one, make you look young, capable of handling social media, but also gives a little bit extra information to the recruiter or the hiring manager about what things you're interested in.
So when a recruiter is using from their perspective of what they're doing, the recruiter package, they go put in a job title and then a location and then maybe some keywords, or what do you think they normally do?
They will always put in a title, and they will generally use a title that LinkedIn has already standardized. You know through the applicant tracking system that you have to have an exact match on the words in order to get credit for that skill. Same type of thing in a recruiter search. They're going to be looking for, so if they're looking for an electrical engineer, that might be different from an electronic engineer or an electrical specialist. They will be looking for one of these titles. They will not make one up. They will not use the one that they use within their company. LinkedIn has standardized them, and it improves their job search. So the first thing they're going to look for is a job title that LinkedIn has within their set of titles. They will then look for a geographic area, and for the most part, they're looking at metropolitan areas. If you have on your profile that you are in a specific city, that's not going to show up as high as a metropolitan area for whatever reason. So the metropolitan area is normally, in our case, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, plus a 20-mile radius around it. Then they're going to be looking for some skills. And the skills within your profile are going to be on your profile page. And what you use in the About section and what you use in the Experience section are going to be weighted more heavily than the skills that you have in skills and endorsements. So having them in all areas is going to be an advantage for you, because the more times you use a word, the more LinkedIn feels that you truly do have that skill. And LinkedIn counts up to 5. So if you say that you have a strong skill in strategic planning, that should appear 5 times on your profile page. It needs to appear at least once in the About section. It needs to appear here in the skills and endorsement area, and it needs to appear a couple of times in your experience. If you have it 5 times, LinkedIn gives you that extra boost of, we believe this person truly does have that skill, and they put you up higher on the list that they give back to the recruiter for that search.
You've also stated that having the badges, the test badges also boost your, would push you up a little bit higher in the search?
Considerably so, because now you've proven that you've got that capability rather than simply saying that you have it.
So for those of you who have the premium version, you get LinkedIn Learning, part of the $30 a month LinkedIn Learning thing. LinkedIn Learning is lynda.com. For those of you who do not pay the extra $30 a month for the premium version, check with your public library. I have a library card with the city of Dallas, and I got it because I was using it with Reference USA. But you can also, I happen to look, and they offer lynda.com. So I can take those training classes, the same classes that would be on LinkedIn Learning, take the classes, and then go take the test if I want to do that. So you don't have to pay the premium version.
That's a great tip. I had no idea about that.
Yeah, I don't know about other cities, but I know that the city of Dallas does have lynda.com.
Got it.
Here's another question to see. You may also pin different skills to the top instead of the skills that are there now. You have to unpin one of the skills first and move up other skills. Yeah, I think you can only have 3 skills at the very, very top.
You have 3 skills, and LinkedIn is going to pick the 3 skills that have the most endorsements associated with them. And those might not necessarily be the skills that you need for your next job, because a lot of times the ones that you have the most endorsements on are your older skills and may not be the ones that you're utilizing for your job search. So on that, on the skills and endorsement area, you go into the edit pencil, and the 3 top ones are going to have a blue check mark next to them. If you don't want those to be your top 3, you click on the blue tag, it turns it to white, drops them down to the rest of your skills, and then you can go down and find the skills that you're truly interested in, click on the white tag mark, it'll bring it up to the top. If you have skills that you don't think are needed anymore because they are old skills or they relate to a job function that you never want to do ever again, there is a trash can next to each one of the skills so that you can get rid of them. Then you would go back and you would add whatever skills you think are going to be most important for your job search in order to prove that you've got the capability to do that job both technically and through a cultural standpoint.
Very good. Do we have any other questions online? You can either raise your hand or type a question in the chat box, or for those on Facebook, we've got 10 people on Facebook right now. You're welcome to enter something in the comment box. Nobody's asked a question yet, but I'll ask. For the skills and endorsement section, so you've got 30, 40 skills that are there. They now list them by categories, industry knowledge, tools and technology. Do you want to put what you think is your most important interpersonal skill first, or how do you say, is there a suggested way how we should have them listed?
There are a couple schools of thought on that, so you'll have to decide which way you want it. Normally, in the top 3 skills, if you're looking for a managerial position, you're going to put 2 technical skills and 1 soft skill up here. The higher you are in an organization, sometimes you need more soft skills here than you need technical. So you might have 1 technical and 2 soft, because they're looking more for the strategy, the leadership, the collaboration, the influence, and whether you know a credit from a debit is not as important. Within the areas that LinkedIn has allowed you to place, you can't change it from one area to another. They won't move them. I put mine in alphabetical order because I think it's easier to read that way. And if someone is taking a look for a specific skill, it's sometimes easier to find them in alphabetical. Some people, though, like putting in the top portion their best skills that they want to highlight. So after the top 3 skills have been selected, you might want to put the 2, 3 that are going to be the strongest at the top of each one of these sections. So whichever way you want to do it is okay. But if it's a really long list of skills within one area, alphabetize everything, but then change it around so that you've got the ones that are going to be most important at the top. And once again, to do that, you would go into the edit, and these 4 bars to the right, the cheeseburger, click and drag. You can put them in whatever order you want.
Great, thank you. All right, we've got a question on Facebook here. How do you merge an account whose connections were via a former job and email, which is now inactive?
That happens a fair amount of times. You would go up into the Me section, and in your account, you're going to be looking for help. And within the help section, you're going to go to it's not there anymore. In the popular activities, one of them is going to be merging 2 accounts. So if you do have 2 different accounts and you want to merge them into one, and the reason that you want to do that is you want to preserve the connections that you have from the first one. You lose information from the one that you're getting rid of. They do ask that you pick a primary one and the one that needs to be discarded. The only thing that they will guarantee is that they will bring the connections over into your new profile. Was that the question you were looking for?
Yes, I think that answers, yeah. What do you do with inactive? The other thing I would also recommend to people is when you do get a new job, while you have that job or while you have access to that email account, set that email account up as a secondary email account in LinkedIn, so that when you're no longer there in a couple years, if people only know you from that, they still would be able to access your main profile, because you can have multiple email accounts, but you have one as a primary and other ones as secondary accounts.
And the way that you're going to do that is that you're going to go into your settings and privacy. And in your settings and privacy comes up first. If you're going to be doing many changes, you want to go into how others see your LinkedIn activity and make sure that you're not changing, you're not sharing every time you make an update to your LinkedIn account. But if you're going to be updating your account, go into the account tab, and the first thing here is your email address. So being able to put in what your primary one is, and that should be your personal account. Your secondary one can be your work one, so that if you ever leave your work unexpectedly, you haven't lost the ability to get into your account.
Right. All right. See, another question here. Does LinkedIn choose which categories to put your skills into? I got rid of one skill that was in a technology category. In technology, and the category went away.
Right. There's no way that you can move from one area to another. And LinkedIn does make mistakes. So I've got 2 different technologies that I have used for e-learning. Neither one of them showed up here. They showed up other places. And there's no way that you can move them. So right. LinkedIn's not perfect.
Patty asked, is it a good idea to activate 2-step verification for your LinkedIn profile?
Depends on where you're going to be using your profile. If you think that you're going to be using it at the library, then you should have that 2-step, because you want to make sure that nobody else is able to get into your account. If you're using it simply at home and you've got confidence in your server and your firewall, you don't need it. But it depends on your comfort level too.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? Any last tidbits you'd like to share, Ruth?
I think we covered a fair amount. If that takes care of all the questions, be aware that when a recruiter is using LinkedIn Recruiter, they are going to be looking for title, for geographic location, and for skills. They are going to come up in an order that LinkedIn determines. LinkedIn does not do anything in a random way. The more active you are on LinkedIn, the higher LinkedIn is going to value your profile, and the higher it's going to place you on that list for the recruiter to view. So if you're doing a fair number of posts, if you have a large number of connections, if you are continually updating and improving your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn is going to reward you by putting you higher in those searches. And these days, LinkedIn is saying that 1/3 of all jobs in mid to large size companies are from people who are found on LinkedIn. They're not applying for a job. The recruiter is going out onto LinkedIn, using LinkedIn Recruiter, typing in the information that they're looking for, and then contacting the person for an interview. 1/3 of all people in a company are being found on LinkedIn. And you know it's not the people who are going into the lower level jobs or the customer service jobs, it's the people who are mid to upper management that they're looking for. So use your LinkedIn profile, be active on LinkedIn, it'll help out.
All right, see, there was a question here on Facebook. What was the term that I used to obtain the Dallas Public Library to obtain LinkedIn training? So if you have a public library card from the city of Dallas, and I'm sure I've heard a couple other cities also have it. So you get your public library, you go online, you log in, and you should be able to look for training or available websites or something like that. And in my case, it's called lynda.com. And lynda.com was bought by LinkedIn several years ago, and they made it into LinkedIn Learning. So lynda.com is what you can access via your public library. All right, let me take over the control again here.
All yours.
And oops, I shared the wrong screen. Let's see here. There we go. All right, so Ruth, thank you very much. We'll see you again in 3 weeks. Just as a reminder, coming up today at 3 o'clock, the Frisco Career Transition Workshop will be having their next seminar or the next workshop. It'll be on interviewing, and it'll be presented by Locke Alderson, who I think happens to be on this call with us right now. So today at 3 o'clock, you can find out about interviewing. Tomorrow, the Interviewing Wednesday that we do every Wednesday at 1 o'clock, we'll be doing session number 10, and they will be focusing on how to discuss compensation in an interview and why did you leave your last job? 2 very important questions that you will be asked. So this will be a great presentation that you can join or sit in on. And you can view the prior 9 sessions are all on the Career DFW Facebook page and YouTube channel. And I'll show you that in just a second. Thursday, and I didn't put the right dates on there, effective resumes on Thursday, that'll be Thursday the 18th. We'll be reviewing resumes. And then on Friday the 19th, not the 12th, Friday the 19th, our speaker at the North Dallas Plano Focus Group is going to talk about accountability groups. So if you're not part of an accountability group, if you'd like to see how to start one, you'd like to see what it should consist of, what you do, what you shouldn't do, the good parts, the bad parts, join us this coming Friday. Just as a reminder, all these sessions have been recorded and will be on the Career DFW Facebook page. You'll be on the Career USA YouTube channel. Please check each page, subscribe to the Facebook page and the YouTube channel. Here's what it looks like on Facebook. If you go to the Facebook page, Career DFW, click on that red arrow, and if you click on following, it will then alert you. Your phone will sort of buzz every time Career DFW goes live. And where the blue arrow is, that's where the videos are all located, and they're all grouped together. So you can see all the resume ones together, all the LinkedIn presentations together, all the resume presentations are all together. I try to group together and make it easy for you. On the Career USA YouTube channel, If you click on playlist, which is where that blue arrow is, it will then show up like it does here at the very bottom. These are lists that I've put together of the videos that we've been producing and uploading. And if you click at the very bottom, it says view full playlist, you'll see all the seminars that we've been doing. So just as a reminder, Career FW is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We have no full or part-time employees. Everybody's a volunteer. Ruth's a volunteer, Terry Sullivan, Locke Alderson, everybody else. All the speakers are all volunteers trying to just help you in your job search. Career FW, we survive on donations. Please consider making a donation next time you get a full-time job. If your company offers matching donations, please look up Career FW, allow your donation to double, triple in size, or double in size. If you don't see us on the list, please contact me. I will get us on the list. I know I'm on a couple of the company list right now, so it would be appreciated so we can help keep Career FW going. So I want to thank Ruth again for her time. Thanks everybody else for joining us. Hopefully we'll see some of you at 3 o'clock at the Frisco Career Transition Workshop. Otherwise, I'll see you hopefully Wednesday or Thursday or this Saturday or this Friday at some of the other presentations. So everybody have a great rest of the afternoon.
Thank you.